This is about the Alchemist, the bridge section. In this video, I'm going to cover a whole bunch of stuff, so forgive me for going really quickly. But I covered a few things about thumping in the Don't Quit Your Day Job video, but I'll kind of reiterate them really quickly. I'm turning my arm and my wrist in a doorknob motion. So it's not exactly my thumb. My thumb is playing a little bit of a role, but I'm kind of turning it like this. And I get the most kind of powerful sound from thumping this way. I find that when you do this more delicate kind of thumping, it works really well. But for me, it was easier to scale this back than it was to start from there. So it was easier for me to take that and then slowly scale it back. You may find it's different, but when I'm tapping that, or when I'm thumping that really percussive kind of attack, it's definitely coming from my forearm and my wrist. I'm going turning, not into the guitar. That's not what you want. You want to kind of go through the string you're trying to attack, land on the next one, and then you kind of ricochet up, or kind of like a wrestler running into the strings of a ring and then bouncing back. So you want to accept that the sound is different. You want to try to have all of the down and the up kind of on the same dynamic plane. You don't want the attack to be louder than the note. So you want it to be powerful, but you don't want the note to be overshadowed by just noise. So the main kind of idea that makes this particularly difficult is that it's on the higher strings. These kinds of sounds. The unwound strings are particularly hard to thump. So I would recommend kind of getting the idea of this down on the lower wound strings. So the main kind of riff, or the main kind of technique that's happening, is I'm thumping, and then I'm doing these hammer-ons from nowhere across strings. So this is ultimately a pretty intensive left-hand exercise, even more so than it is a thumping exercise. The thumping kind of enunciates certain parts or emphasizes certain parts, but the true kind of ability is going to come from your left hand. I've always found that the stronger your left hand is, the more freedom your right hand has to articulate the notes in a variety of ways. So when I do a lot of different types of things, it's almost always with this hand holding down the fort, while this hand is able to move kind of freely and to find new ways and new positions to kind of articulate the notes differently. So to start, this is kind of the basic pattern. It's one hammer on from nowhere, then I'm doing it down up with the thumb, I'm hammering on again, and then I'm hammering on across the string, another string over, and then I'm hammering on. So it looks like, so that's the first thing. And then my pinky, and this is just an A minor pentatonic. I'm just gonna go. So I'm just walking up. So yeah, I'm just going 5, A in the low E string, 5, 7, and then I was doing a diminished thing, 4, 7, 5, 7. So from here, I would work that up, or like work it out pretty well to where it feels like the notes are similar volumes, and it's pretty difficult to have that be similar volume to that, but and it might not be completely possible, but I would try to get it pretty close. But yeah, so and then I would try to start moving it vertically. So you can look at the A minor pentatonic scale and kind of move up and down. So you can do something like, or and you'll notice that it's kind of fun to do this kind of slippery sound where you're sliding into the notes. I always like that rubber band kind of quality. It seems to be popular in modern guitar culture as well. So yeah, on to the actual riff. So this is kind of the bridge part. Start off with these 16th notes, and then it moves into these triplets. But basically, I'm looking at this. You're doing this over a rhythm section that's just basically playing G and A. So I'm just kind of looking at this as a B minor pentatonic shape, easy enough. So it's really, I'm on the 7th fret of the D string, and I'm hammering on to the 9th fret. The 7th fret of the B string, I'm skipping a string, and then hammering on to the 10th fret. And then at the 10th fret, I'm thumping. So I'm thumping at the initial after the first hammer on. Hammer on, hammer on, hammer on, down, up. And then I'm just coming straight back down. But this hand is doing that hammer on from nowhere and then the pull off. So So then it just happens again. So then I move over to the G string. So I'm just kind of walking around and I'm making sure that my left hand is strong enough to do that. But then I'm also trying to finesse the notes a little bit, and then I'm accenting certain notes with the thumb that kind of start each of the phrases. So this part's particularly hard. So I'm pulling off from the 9th fret to the 7th. And then that's this motion when I'm doing this glitch hammer on, or basically glitch tapping with my left hand. But I'm just doing it. And the practical reason for doing this is that you have an extra beat. You have, if you need an extra beat in a particular area, you can just throw it in there with another finger, and it has a unique sound to it. It doesn't sound like you're picking it again or doing some right hand technique with it twice. It sounds pretty unique by itself. So like each of those have a different sound. So you can see. So then I'm thumping down up, and then I'm going down to this. This would be a C sharp or the 6th fret of the G string. And then I'm kind of just walking down that position, 9-7 on the D string, 9-7 on the A. And then coming back up. So you can see that whole thing. So this basically repeats. There's one thing on the tab that's missing. I just kind of vary it just a little bit in the intro. I don't repeat it exactly. So rather than doing the hammer-on first, and then doing the down-up, I do 2 hammer-ons first, and then do the down-up with my thumb. So yeah, and then this you have to watch. There's all kinds of muting things that can go wrong, and you really have to kind of watch your right hand. And I would, especially for extended range players, until you're doing this on the lower strings, until you're doing it on the lower strings, you want to make sure that your right hand is kind of very aware of those lower notes and kind of protecting them. If I'm tapping my right forearm, is kind of doing that always, and my left hand is kind of index is draped over, worried about those high strings if they're going to ring out or not. I'm not always successful, honestly. But yeah, so from here, then it goes into this triplet section, and this is pretty difficult. It's the same kind of pattern, but I'm doing this rather than doing the 2 glitch. And that's allowed me to basically keep it in that one position for this amount of time that I thought was like satisfying enough, and then move to the next one. So you have I'm also doing these slides. So it's very subtle. Sometimes I'm doing them more pronounced than others. So that's the kind of triplet feel, and that's just basically the 5th, the 7th, 9th, and then the 7th, 10th. Excuse me. So from there, I'm basically moving down. So I'm just gonna start it over. So you gotta see this. So I'm kind of walking up there. That's how I'm getting to the next position. So this is another advantage of doing these glitch hammer-ons. You can get out of a position really easy. So I'm in this next position. I can go the other direction. And basically I could just, if I was playing whatever, I'd be in the next position. I use that a lot just because I need to get somewhere. So, and it's kind of hard to hit this note and slide down at the same time. It doesn't always happen. So then I'm going down to this 4th fret, 5th. So the patterns are, I thought those were pretty pleasing over this G and E. So you have this. Yeah, and I'm trying to figure it out kind of. I haven't really thought about it so explicitly, but the tab has it pretty laid out. So this is kind of the main idea that I wanted to get across. Everything else is kind of leading up to this build up. But yeah, the triplet riff. So you kind of see that these notes are weak, and you really have to kind of try. And in the studio, I was warming up and warming up. And if I were playing this live, I would be warming up on stuff like this all the time. Just getting these. Just really strong, a really strong left hand that allows you to play these notes and have them sound like a guitar player. You want it to sound like a guitar player is picking them. So from here, this last line, I'm just moving up. So I'm doing this. So. And there's not much to it. There's just the main pattern. But yeah, I think that is about it. Try to look at the tab and see if you can get that. You get that. The main part about it is the rubber bandy effect. I'm kind of coming in from behind. And I really like the way that sounds. I think my phone is overheating. But yeah, I appreciate everything that y'all are doing. I tried to cover that quickly. Sorry, there's a lot of information. But yeah, have a great evening.